And we are here. So we're just starting off today with a couple of show matches before we actually hit off into the grand final between Killian and Ronan. So this is the first one that we have for you, and I'll just fix the name tags because they're the other way around. We have in the black Zed and in the white Matthew. Matthew did play in the competition earlier. I think he got to the semi-finals, I want to say, of the losers bracket. So he's fairly decent. And Zed is just someone I know from work. He played a bit as a kid, so he's a bit of a beginner as well. And I was having a chat with him before the game started, and he has a bit of an unconventional style. He tends to be quite an improviser, and so you've got these rather unusual openings that he tends to do. It seems to shake it up quite a lot, so it throws anyone who knows a bit of theory completely astray. So it'd be quite interesting to see what he does. And so Matthew's got a very strong centre with his pawns and his knights, but I imagine Zed's going to do a double fianchetto and try and get control of or rather prepare an attack on the centre. And that's what I think it's going to do. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And not hung, because he can always take back, but then he ends up with a knight in a really kind of useless position, which is what's going to happen. So it's kind of like a trade for a trade's sake. I don't like that too much. As I say, the knight's not in a very good place. It can't even go here because that's protected by the white pawn on e4. So the only place that it can go is to this square over here on g4. So yeah, he's still yet to develop either of his centre pawns, and Matthew's now preparing some sort of attack on this weak pawn. So I can very well imagine a knight going to g5 shortly to try and put extra pressure on this. Could even follow up with a queen developing onto the king side. Could easily happen. Also have moves like d5, which are quite aggressive, and the knight's not got too many places that they can go. These two squares protected by that knight, and so it could go to a more aggressive spot on b4, which is probably its best place. But then black is sufficiently lower in development, less developed for sure, and quite constricted. And actually, he decides to retreat, which is less good now because the only place that it can go is to a6, which isn't too strong. If he does develop this pawn, which he should be thinking of doing at some point before he gets any more constricted, he can then reposition it to d7. So he does have a couple of ideas. Whereas Matthew's got to be thinking about how do I build up an attack, and part of that is really developing the queen. The dial did drop down a bit after you castled because it gave Zed an extra move to try and do something, but that wasn't the most efficient move that he could have done. If he did a move like f6 or something, it releases the pressure on that square a little bit. It prevents white from progressing this pawn as well. So that could have been an idea. So quite a nice move that Zed could do is this b5 push. Attacks the bishop, forces it to retreat to a less useful square. Ah, Nick, you're in the chat. Welcome. How are you doing? Saying it's just you. Yep. For now. Just we're building up the hype before we get to the big game. All right. No sad faces. We're a very happy stream, so none of that. Yeah, so again, developing the queen is the best idea for Matt here. Yeah, though it was under pressure, which is probably why he did skip out there. Oh. Yeah, this is a tricky situation for Zed, and that's a decent move. Yeah, similar idea to what he could have done a couple turns ago, which is basically put pressure on this bishop. Though something that Matthew could do is take this pawn and then say, okay, let's have a swap of bishops, and then all of a sudden you've got this pawn on this 7th rank. The Robank boys have been here since the beginning. Okay, thanks Fraser. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Maybe if you can explain to me, I don't get that reference. Yeah, so he's opted to retreat a little bit. Ooh, okay. So if he takes and takes, I think the problem here is, yeah, the bishop can then retake on f5. Very busy, but essentially lots of taking over here, quite possibly. Matthew doesn't opt for it though. I guess it's a little bit of a tricky one to spot, but you know, this is actually quite a nice move, because this knight has kind of blocked itself. It can't go here, or here, so it'd have to retreat backwards. So it would push it into a less useful space. But that's also not a bad move. That's probably the second best move that he could have done. Nick, I was there when chess was just called Gronk Rock Throw Pebbles at Gronk. Complaining there's not enough emotion in the sport. What is this? Yeah, hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so we've got a couple of show matches before we hit the final. So yeah, strap in. This is going to be quite exciting. So A takes b5 is the main idea here, if he does go for it. Though other ideas are, again, just developing queen, even just taking that pawn. That also gives a massive advantage to white. So lots of ideas. Okay, cool. Thanks for explaining that, Fraser. Yes, James, you are in the right place. Though that's not what we call it. We call this CJ's chess tournament, but you know, it's just a little secret between us, okay? Yeah, so yeah, they're even on material, but just white has a very aggressive, you know, position, and attacks are very easy to come up with. Yeah, that's quite a nice move. If he moved the knight out of the way, he would have lost the rook. So moving this pawn here supports the knight in case it's taken by the bishop. So yeah, that's quite a nice move. Yeah, so if he does queen d4, fairly difficult to spot because you're mostly thinking about this rook, which seems kind of scary. But if he does that, then that prepares like checkmate ideas, basically. So quite a nasty situation for black. Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to, James. No idea whatsoever. Oh, some smack talk from Nick about Fraser's place in Glasgow. No fighting in the chat, guys. Keep it civil. Yeah, this is getting slightly desperate for Zed here. But a single blunder for Matthew will completely swing it back. Most of the advantage that white has is entirely positional. So just making bad moves will bring it back to an even game. The controversies are continuing. Alright. I call for civility and this is what you give me. Yeah, okay, so now he's bringing the queen into the game, and yeah, he might be thinking about, either retreating the rook or not. He's decided to defend it, but en passant is a possibility. Whether Matthew remembers that, no, he doesn't, but it's fine. He still has quite a big advantage. We would have loved to see it for the memes, and it would also have been the best move, so just goes to show. Killian throwing some conspiracies in the chat. Oh dear. Not so sure about this banter. That was a free knight, and he's taken it, and he can continue the attack as well, taking the pawn or moving into position next turn. So really, Zed should be thinking about some defensive ideas here. Yeah, but difficult to come up with. Yeah, I can't repeat a lot of these comments. Just putting that out there. Yeah, at least you're having fun though. Yeah, that was a decent move, and it protects against quite a lot of the attacking ideas that White would have with the queen, and so that's quite solid. Nice check. Yeah, and he's going to win the rook, and there's a mate in 3 if he opts to go to f7 with the king. He doesn't, which is good, so the game continues. And yeah, the rook's going to fall, and now Matthew's cemented a very strong advantage materially, as well as having all the positional advantages still. Oh, Fraser, you're getting a Netflix series apparently. Congrats. May not be the type that you want though. Yeah, I think just moving the bishop to where it's safe is probably best. There's no point just losing it for no reason. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. See if he goes for it. Yeah, there's not a lot of opportunity for a counter-attack here, so a move like that is best. And let's see, what ideas could he have? I quite like this one actually, because it's attacking the queen, but they have a discovered attack on the bishop. So, in order to defend the queen, he should do something like take the pawn, and then he gets the bishop for free. Quite a tricky one to spot, but it's quite nice. Oh, not with the hung rook thing again. Come on, guys. Please. Yeah, slightly tricky one to spot, but there's an idea here. So this square is protected by the knight, and it could be used to try and undermine White's pawn structure in the centre. But instead we're probably just going to have a lost knight instead. I imagine Matthew will go for that. He doesn't, actually. Perhaps he wants to keep his pawn controlling the centre, which is fair enough. But usually you do want to get a little bit of material for your buck. Yeah, so just letting everyone know, the final is going to take place at 10 o'clock, so that's in 45 minutes. We have this show match, and then we have another one, which is Andrew versus Mark Farmer. Mark Farmer being the runner-up of the losers bracket of the competition, and Andrew, he made it to the quarterfinals of the winners bracket, so that's quite an interesting one. They also work together, so potential for spiciness from that match, so that should be good. Yeah, Matthew taking more material, though I can see Matthew starting to wonder how he sort of makes the most of this situation. He's quite a lot up in material, but there's still some quite scary pieces on the board. And he's actually starting to run a little bit low on the clock as well. I see you're being quite inventive, Killian. That one seems very original. Also seems a little bit controversial. Nick, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Alright, we now have a potential mate going on here, and the rooks could do some serious damage here. So yeah, that's a free rook, which he should take. So we'll see if he does. Yeah, he does. So now we've got a mate in 4, and I think most of those moves are actually to do with, trying to delay the inevitable, because something like this or that will be checkmate. Clearly this one isn't, so well, okay, it wasn't. If the queen was still there, it would have had line of sight on that square, so that could have been a potential mistake. Now queen to c8 is the idea here, so we'll see if Zed spots it. He does. And 2 ideas here. He can either go to d6 or to b4. Either way putting the king in check, and he does. And only one space for the queen is that one. And the king can't move at all. And then the follow-up is queen takes on b7, and that's checkmate. That is not checkmate. Okay, he lasts one more turn. Rook a8. Oh, sorry, wrong one. That one. That's checkmate, and he should spot that. But you never know. Okay, he survives a couple more turns. What really can he do here? Okay, yeah, queen to f8 here is checkmate. He finds it. Congratulations, Matthew. Well done on your success. We'll pop to a short break before we interview the guys, so stay tuned for that, and then we'll crack on with show match number 2. Queen exchange, which he's going to have retaken with the rook, and then he's got this very dangerous D column right here, which is not going to be too good for white. He now can't even castle because it's being blocked by the rook. So he went from quite a solid starting position to now being in a little bit of trouble. So he's now going to have to figure out how to defend this position. And he's just blundered another piece, which is slightly unfortunate. Alright, seems like the attack's starting to happen. So he's got this check, and he can't retreat into that direction, so he's going to have to retreat over here. He also can't take the piece, which would be the other option that you usually have. So presumably Black will follow up by moving the knight again, and then he'll have discovered check on the king. Yeah. So now he's checked, and that's a lost rook. So the story is getting significantly worse. Yeah, you can see the idea on this one, and just trying to kick away this bishop that's on quite a dangerous diagonal. It also means that this bishop's going to have a tougher time trying to defend this square, which is the knight's only escape. Oh, yeah, okay, I just completely missed that was a mate in one. There you go. Bishop and the queen, so that... Alright, and we're back. So yeah, short interview with you guys. Do you want to introduce yourself, Zed?
Yep, I'm Zed, I work with John. I'm not sure how much I need to introduce myself, but beginner level at chess, played like a very long time back.
Yeah, so what is your background with chess? Like, you played as a kid, I think you said.
Yeah, I just played for fun. Like, I do not know anything about chess. I just know how the things move and stuff. That's pretty much about it. And I just play for fun.
Yeah, that is fair enough. Matt, you
as you could see in the game, actually.
So Matt, so you played as a kid, but I think you've kind of got into the spirit of the tournament and learned a little bit of the openings and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah. So when you asked me to play, I sort of got a bit into it, and turns out it's actually quite a fun game. So yeah, I've been playing a bit recently.
Yeah. I just want to talk about the opening slightly. So Zed, you played some like your outward pawns a little bit, kind of not taking the centre. Is that your general play style, would you say?
Yeah, I'm not even sure if that's like a move or something, but I went with your advice before we played, like you should open up bishops and stuff, but that wasn't working for me, so I went to my natural game and started opening my sides.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. It is actually, it has a name. It's the modern defense. So maybe you can take that. You're playing the modern game, so it's clearly something good about it. And actually, this idea of putting your bishops on the b7 and g7 squares is quite good. It's because then you're controlling these long diagonals. So it's not particularly bad at all. It's actually fairly decent. But yeah. And Matt, I'm guessing you haven't really seen this sort of opening before too much.
No, I mean I just play. I only really play one white opening, and when I saw this, I was like, "What?" So I just remembered, like, I don't know, what my dad used to say to me, I guess. Put pawns in the middle of the board, so I just abandoned what I was gonna do and just started putting stuff in the middle of the board.
So did you have an opening that you wanted to try?
Yeah, I was just gonna play the Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah, I did spot that you opened with your d4 pawn, sort of preparing a Queen's Gambit. Yeah.
You see, you've lost me there. Like I have no idea what the Queen's Gambit is. Like I've seen that's about my knowledge basically with chess.
That's fair enough. So how did you find the game, Zed? Was it quite a struggle, or did you feel like you had some chances at certain points?
I do feel I had some chances. Like in the middle of the game, got quite interesting. Because I kind of went defensive with my pawns, and he was going defensive, but then he was more tactically aware and beat me to my own game. I wasn't thinking straight. Like I was just moving things in here. Like I wasn't thinking 3 steps ahead, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because of that.
Yeah, that is fair enough. We have an interesting question from Nick in the chat, actually.
Yeah.
If you had to marry a chess piece, which one would you marry?
Which one I would marry? Probably the queen, just because it can move everywhere.
Oh, decent answer. How about you, Matt?
I do just really like rooks. I don't know, they're just kind of cool.
Yeah.
I
I do remember in the tournament you once promoted a pawn to a rook, so I think that holds some weight actually.
Yeah, so clearly that's my heart, my heart calling out.
Yeah.
I love the rooks. So yeah.
Exactly. Oh, thank you both for joining us. It's been good fun watching your game and commentating over it. So yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, we're just going to skip to a short break while we set up for the next show match. So everyone stay tuned, and yeah, see you shortly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So, what's the idea? Take with the pawn, and then no. Yeah, I think that is the idea, isn't it? Take with the pawn, and then does that force the queen trade? Because it's not pinned if the pawn takes, which is making.
If you take with the pawn, you're also pinning the bishop to the queen, and the bishop's under attack from the other bishop as well.
Oh, of course.
One bishop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you take there, then this rook's got an attack as well. Yeah, that's a very good point. Oh, okay. I've not updated it even more. I need to change the score. I've already given 2 points to Josh apparently. He hasn't earned so far.
Should take those.
If he does end up winning this 2-0, then I'll have to ask you guys in chat to apologise and just accept that I can see the future.
Oh, that removes all of the advantage.
Yeah. No longer having that pin on the or potential pin on the bishop. So now it's gone back to
I
even
assume
Stevens.
the logic is to try and attack Black's pawn with the rook now, but that is too late.
He should just go for it and attack with the pawn. Oh, apparently he's now hanging mate in 3.
Engine.
Anyone find it?
See, I
Okay,
see
go
it's
for it.
Queen F7 check as the beginning.
Okay. And
F7 check, Queen F8 check, rook takes mate.
The king's stuck in the corner.
oh my life, that's what the vision is, and it's gone. It's
We've
gone.
done another
Oh no. Oh, it's back again. Mason 1. It's Mason 1.
Queen F8, go, come on.
Oh no. Oh, he's tunnel visioned on this centre, and he's not looking at what he has in front of him, which is a very exposed black king. White is very low on time, which is probably the explanation for why he didn't spot those checkmates. If he did take a good 15 seconds, he may have spotted that actually Black's got this very exposed king, but all the time that he took earlier in the match is now coming back to bite him.
I wonder if he just does, if he's got tunnel vision so much he can't see it.
Yeah,
Or
it's
his bold attack would potentially work.
yeah potentially the case.
Based on it.
Come on, one further square. That's all I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, he's almost there. He's almost there. Black only has the one move here, so taking up your time isn't going to help you anymore.
If I'm honest, I quite enjoy the bad manners. Okay, well.
And it's game over. Okay, well he did get it eventually, 3rd time lucky. Missed it twice, but yeah, got there eventually, and that's all that matters. We've got the same opening that we had last game. Just
I love it when they
colours
do things
colours reversed. So clearly they liked it last time.
White could do is push his pawn up 2 more and then he gets 4 pawns in a row, which we wouldn't know to begin the game.
Maybe Nick's thinking, if I just don't hang my king like last time.
Ooh.
Alright, and we're back with the second show match, which is between Andrew. Actually, they swapped which ones they are, which is helpful. Andrew's in the white, and Mark Farmer's in the black. So I'll just get that ready for you. Yeah, okay, that's fixed. Cool, and we started off, and interesting opening. So usually when we have the Queen's Pawn, it's followed up with Queen's Gambit. So I don't know if this is something that Andrew's prepared or what, but it's interesting nonetheless. All right. We had some more chat following up from from Nick's question. Killian saying that he'd marry the hung knight, of course. Yeah, okay. James saying he'd marry the king, which would make him the queen. Ah, see, that's smart. That's smart. And then he can kill the king because he's stronger, and then he becomes king. Quite a convoluted way of getting to it, but you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, the story continues. He'll run away with the pawn into the sunset. Fantastic. Oh my days. That's like some massive like love octagon going on in the story that you're describing. It's great. I think Sean's saying that he'd marry the pawn because he's a big dom. I don't know what to make of that. Not sure anyone really believes that. Anyway, okay, let's continue with the game. So no pieces have been taken, but White has quite a developed situation. He seems to be going for this pawn structure, which I'm not too sure what to make of. Yeah. Okay, I think people have just heard what I said, maybe. Yeah, poor Sean. F's in chat. I think this is like the 5th time that someone's called for Sean to be banned. Yeah, we don't mean it, Sean. We love you. Cool. Both sides have castled, and yeah, this is part of the problem with Andrew's pawn structure. Is his king is quite exposed. So I'm not actually a massive fan of this, if I'm being quite honest. Yeah. Because at some point, right, this is going to move forward, and then you've got some major problems on your king's side. So yeah, not a big fan of this, to be honest. But we'll see if Mark's able to use this to come up with some sort of attacking idea, because it's not the most straightforward thing in the world. So it's not like this is a lost game already. You know, far from it. I mean, they've not even taken any pieces. Yeah, we're still into the early game, really. Yeah, okay. Yeah, with situations like this where all the pieces are on the board, it's really difficult to come up with moving ideas. Just because like it's really easy to hang something. There's all these sorts of defenders for all these different squares. It's quite difficult to find safe moves. Though I personally quite like this. The computer didn't like it, but I like it. I mean, you can follow up with something like this as well, to give it some extra support. I don't like that. I think if you're gonna move a pawn to give your king some breathing room, it's better to go for the H pawn here, because yeah, now he's faced with this choice, which isn't really what you want at all, because then you've got a completely open king, and yeah, though he has done this interesting idea. The best move for White here to get the advantage is to take it with the F pawn here, and then you've got this really strong centre with your pawn structure. He took it with the wrong pawn, which is unfortunate, and yeah, that's less good. Yeah, so Andrew has the material advantage, but he's going to lose a bishop at the end of the day, I think. see. We'll see what happens. Oh, okay. Bishop takes e3, checks the king, attacks the queen, and it's defended by the knight. And he finds it. That is a dead queen. that is unfortunate. I'm telling you, Mark Farmer played like a beast in the competition. Despite everything that he said, semi-finals, final, absolute beast, and he can find moves like this. It is really quite impressive. Mark, with chat like that, it sounds like you're ready to come back into the commentating booth. I don't know. Is that what you're feeling? Yeah, and then bishop takes, rook takes. Yeah, the story gets worse because now you're also swapping a rook for a knight, which is not ideal. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I don't even know what you do is why you're here. You're just kind of in a bad situation. Andrew did. He won his first round match against Matthew, actually, who played the last show match. So yeah, that's Andrew. He made it to the quarterfinals of the winners bracket, and he's facing off against Mark Farmer, who was the runner-up in the losers bracket. So I thought it would be quite an interesting matchup, and they also work together, so you have that extra little bit of spiciness to make it interesting. So yeah, now Black just needs to come up with attacking ideas. Bringing in the queen is a nice one. I really like this idea, checking the king, bringing the queen into the attack. So he opts to trade the rook for the knight, which is okay. He's significantly up at the moment, so why not? And there's not too much that Andrew can do to try and get some material back. So he needs to do some tricky moves, really. That's kind of his main choice. A move like this, you got a double attack on the queen, but then the queen's just going to go somewhere. So yeah, that was probably the best move. But it should be clear to Mark that his queen's under attack, and he goes for the free pawn. And as everyone knows, we love free pawns. Yeah, they're there for the taking. Yeah, it's an interesting idea because it feels like you're kind of trapping the queen, but not really, because it's not under threat there at the moment. So yeah, we'll see what Andrew comes up with. If he is considering this trapping the queen idea, yeah, a mistake would have been to go all the way to h1, because that would be hanging. So it's good that he didn't do that. Okay, sorry, I think I accidentally predicted a move there, so he didn't actually move that pawn. I was quite confused there for a second. Okay, so he should be thinking about the queen, but what else could he do if he wanted to do some sort of distraction? Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I think he might just want to do the trade, yeah, and that's fair enough. It will then be rook and bishop against knight and bishop. So, Mark still has the advantage, but it's actually significantly less than it was earlier in the match. So this is a lot closer than we thought. Okay, I do not understand what's going on in chat. Did I make a joke? I can't I can't remember. It's the problem with the stream delay. There's like a 30-second delay, so I have no idea what you guys are referring to. Okay, James is going on some sort of rampage. Oh, I love that. It's such good chat. Okay, so what should Andrew be thinking, and what should Mark be thinking here? I think this square is not too great for the bishop, so moving it back to c4 or moving it to b2 so that you can reposition it again somewhere like there, for example, might be better. Yeah, because it's not really doing too much here, so you want to bring it into the game again. Whereas if you just leave it there, then it's kind of a non-piece. Yeah, I imagine Mark's kind of struggling to figure out how to bring the rook into the game, because this pawn's actually kind of blocking its movement a lot, and it's protected by this bishop, so it's making it quite tricky. Wait, what did I say? Nick, explain yourself, please. I don't understand. I must have said something wrong, because now I'm being accused of being a fairy. So what's going on here? Okay, never mind. All right. Yeah, not too much has changed at the moment. Andrew's kind of repositioning his king. I'm not too sure why, but Mark's using his pawn advantage on the king side to try and get some sort of promotion, I think, because he's got 2 versus 1, he can chase this bishop away. So yeah, and arguably that was the wrong way to retreat. If he retreated there, then it would continue protecting that pawn that's now been taken, and this rook's now released into the game, and it would also act as a defense against these guys. So yeah, that's quite nice actually. Yeah, he has lost the bishop, unfortunately, because it was his king was in check on b2 there with this rook. So yeah, significant advantage for Mark now, which hopefully he should be able to convert. So we'll find out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Mark is looking to promote the pawn to a queen and try and wrap up the game. Yeah, I would even be tempted to just swap, get the knight off the board, because then the game's a lot more predictable after that. We have a mating pattern, and it's mate in 1. Rook to a2 would have done it because it was protected by the bishop, but queen to a1, that works, or rook to a2 even. Yeah, checkmate. There you go. Well done to Mark. As I said, he's an absolute beast when it comes to chess. So there you go. Okay, Nick's trying to explain this to me. Okay, that's just fake news, James. There is no poster on the wall behind me. Nick saying free pawn. Wait, you get it free. Nick saying I don't get it. Furries. John saying great chat. Okay. Okay, fine. There you go. Anyway, we're going to cut to a short break while I get the guys in for for an interview, so we can talk about the game. But yeah, stay tuned. That is fair enough.
That's still alright.
Yeah, because the attack on the queen is still there. Because he has to deal with the check first. now he takes it.
Okay.
And
So which way is thinking of the gun?
yeah,
Are you thinking charging forward?
if he comes forward, the queen takes the knight, and then the white knight's protected. So yeah, I think this is just bad news all around. I
I
think.
think, yeah. Although I think you do need to be great in these kind of situations. Good.
Well,
Take the initiative.
The king's a very important piece that can move in all directions.
mhm.
Quite powerful. It's a good attacking weapon.
According to the computer, we have mate and 8, but that's going to be quite difficult to find, and that wasn't the move.
That wasn't it,
It
no.
would have been better to bring the queen out, whereas now that knight's just hanging.
I think Killian's made this a lot harder for himself than it had to be.
Yeah, I think I agree. And you know, a move like you know, Queen at F7 doesn't work because you know after all the trading, the king can take the final rook. So that'd actually be excellent for Mark, but it doesn't happen.
Until now.
And he finds it. Yeah.
I'm Killian. I've been playing chess on and off for a few years. Yeah, go through like times of playing it and just not playing it for a long time.
Yeah.
But I do mostly play Blitz games, which is why my time I don't use much time generally.
Yeah, I did spot that you played an ungodly amount of Blitz games. It was like 6,000 or something ridiculous like that.
Oh, is it that much already?
Oh my god.
It's a lot, man. Not gonna lie.
I'm Mark. Yeah, we got invited to this tournament, so I thought I should probably learn how to play chess. Did that, and
All right. So I have Mark and Andrew here with me for a bit of an interview. So yeah, thoughts on that game, Mark? What do you think of it?
Yeah, it was alright. I think I got quite lucky reasonably early on by making the move where I took his queen, and it was basically an accident. I also put him in check.
Yeah. So you're saying this move, the bishop takes the e3 pawn, I think it was.
It was indeed, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, putting the king into check and also attacking the queen at the same time.
Yeah. In my head, it was basically just going to get a bishop. Because I thought, oh, look, I'm being a nuisance, he'll move his queen here and then I'll get a free bishop.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, that was terrible logic because it wouldn't even have been a free bishop, his rook would have taken it anyway, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, there you go. It's the intuition that matters. It's the intuition that matters.
Yeah. The instinct, I knew to put the bishop there.
And Andrew, what was your feelings on the game?
Yeah, I was happy not to have blundered the queen on my own accord for once, and actually was forced into a bad decision from some good poker from Mark.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. After that, it was I almost gave up, and then I started pulling it back, and it's just enough hope to be pulled away from me again.
Yeah, losing my queen was a bad move on my part. I was some good playing from you to lock me into a position where there was nothing I could do to lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, I thought at that point maybe I could turn it, but yeah, I still like 5 or 6 points behind the material anyway. So then you just consolidate further.
Yeah, it was pretty solid play by Mark. Actually, I was saying to chat that I was quite impressed, especially with this bishop take. Even if it did turn out to be a mistake, it was definitely the right move to make. So yeah, it was quite a good one. Though yes, you did start to claw back a little bit towards the end, Andrew. I guess this is that ray of hope that you were talking about. Was it that you're struggling to come up with ideas, Mark, and you made a couple of mistakes, or what's going on?
I don't even think I necessarily. I don't think at the time I was like, oh, that was a bad move, that was a bad move. I was just kind of doing things. And then suddenly it was queen gone, but I at least managed to pull the rook down with me, and I think I was still had enough material at that point that queen was, it was just delayed mate. I didn't really fuck it with queen, the loss of that queen, and the next like 10 moves. So. But I lost it and was like, it's a hard enough end game with a bishop and a knight that I thought I'm looking pretty good too.
Yeah, for sure. And I really like this idea that you did around turn 31, 32, where you're just pushing your G and H pawns forward. And I think like you noticed that there was a possibility of promoting one of them at some point, and so you're just making that push, and that was quite good game sense. Yeah, it was good. All right,
and then, that night move Andrew did where he guys came out a little bit was good.
Which move is this?
Towards the end, 40-ish. He put his knight in front of the rook, and then guys quick his king down. But it just again too lazy and have over.
Yeah, that is true.
Enjoyable game.
Yeah, it was solid chess. And
at some point.
Yeah,
that's the spirit. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, thank you both for joining us. It's quite nice to have a couple of show matches before the final. I hope you guys stick around to watch it and cause some nuisance in chat if you're able to.
Yeah. No, well, is that this one the Smack Bishop or?
Sorry.
Is the chat in the Smack Bishop?
Oh no, this is on Twitch actually. So I'll post it's the link in the WhatsApp group. If you want to go on there, then you can watch them.
Yeah, I was watching on full screen. There's actually a chat function. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly just Nick and James talking to each other because I think they scare everyone else off. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you've watched either Ronan or Killian play, I know Andrew, you played against Ronan in the quarterfinals. Like, do you have any thoughts on who you think might win?
Well, I'm hoping Ronan wins because knocked out by the victory. You can't knock that. So I'll be rooting for him, but I don't know his chances.
Yeah, solid logic. How about you, Mark? Do you have any opinions?
I haven't really watched enough to know, but I think was it Ronan or one of them played as Drugo and
Ronan. Yeah.
So I watched that game and he won because of Drugo pre-moves. So I mean, if Killian pre-moves, maybe stands a chance.
Okay, cool. So now we have a one prediction for Ronan and one for Killian. It seems. If you're sort of siding towards Killian, Mark, based on that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Well, it'll be a nail biter for sure. And just before we say goodbye to you both, season 2, any thoughts on next competition?
I've seen the voting, but I'd be keen for the more chess.
Fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
it seems a bit more. I put down most of the options, John, but I must confess I've not played half the game, so.
I think Codenames.
Yeah, Codenames is also quite a popular one.
It was last round. I think Codenames is really good.
Yeah, I'm a massive supporter of that one. All right, well, we're going to cut to a short break while we set up the first final game. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. And
thanks for having us back.
Yeah, and we'll go to a short break now.
Bye.
Yeah, I've got to give him credit though for not giving up. Yeah, that's quite admirable actually. If I do something like that. he takes. The idea being that, right? Let's give it a go. Why not? See what he comes up with. How do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? Am I just trapping my queen if I go here? Maybe. What else could he do? No other blocking moves, so just move his king here. I think I'm okay with the trade. Well, that looks like a free pawn. That looks like a fork. And that's protected there, so now we can save this pawn. Actually, do we even want to? Probably not. I think just progress it. Yeah, no, actually, that would have been hanging. So, it's best that we save that one. Would I trade? Okay, if I do this, he takes, I take, he takes, and I get a queen. Yeah. Let's not stalemate here. Ideally he takes, yeah, okay, that makes it a lot easier. Then here, and I think it's checkmate either way. Depends whether he moves his pawn or whatever. Yeah, okay, checkmate. Cool.
Let me interject there. Johnny is East Sussex champion chess, champion, county champion. So, you know, Johnny is a slight favourite going into this game, and then there could be a John matchup.
I think you might have had a case of mistaken identity there, actually. You know, sorry to interrupt you and all that, but I think you made me think of Ralph and not Johnny.
Well, I've heard rumours of Johnny's tactic. You know, John. I mean, it's an interesting tactic to play down your prospective competitor, but I've heard Johnny has some very, very sneaky moves up his sleeve.
Yeah, certainly.
He's Johnny the Sneak, after all. You know, they all call him Johnny the Sneak.
Well, isn't that chess, Nick? Huh?
Chess, folks.
So, how confident were you going into the tie against your old friend John?
The only person I played chess with in the last couple of years was a game I played with John, and he won. So it was almost certain he'd win.
Wait, we played a game together.
Yeah, Johnny's house, maybe after the Greek restaurant.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, John clearly won by such a landslide. He hasn't even remembered it.
Oh, no, that's just my poor memory.
It's quite tough. We all get sluggish after a good Greek meal, so...
Who doesn't love a good Greek gyros, huh? Than a game of chess.
The Greeks know how to make food.
Yeah.
And thank you to our Greek sponsors. Gyros.
Thank you to the Greek gyros.
Yeah, so it looks like Vid's going to be up against Mark Leith.
Oh, very nice.
Well, we have Mark Leith on the line over here. Mark,
Oh,
what do you think about your potential matchup?
Nick, I think you're right. Let's bring him in.
Alright, and we are back. We're just about to kick off with the first game. I'm joined by Kieran and Adrito in the commentary booth. Yep, welcome guys. I will fix that name tag because it's currently saying that you're Adrito, Kieran. And yeah, we don't want a case of mistaken identity. Okay, I think they're still getting ready. I did tell them to wait a couple of minutes, so yeah, we'll start shortly, I'm sure.
You can always post in the chat saying that you're ready in the chess chat.
Yeah. Alright, Sean saying he's hyped, Nick saying he's hypoallergenic. I'm looking forward to this one. It's the apex of the entire competition. We've got Killian and Ronan fighting it out in the final. It should be quite a close one. And yeah, I think
the link.
Yeah, I think the link's changed. I'll just post that in Discord, but I've got it on at the moment, and they've actually started. So there you go. All right, and the name tags are correct for once. That's good. Best start. Okay, so Killian's opened up with an e4, and it looks like Ronan's gonna do a Caro-Kann defense.
Played this lot last week, so.
Yeah, we did notice this.
You responded with the advanced Caro-Kann, so.
And they're playing very fast. It's clearly a position that they're familiar with. And Bishop taking the knight is the best idea here, according to the engine. Anything else will shift it back into White's advantage. So I can't actually see why that is so good, but it was like -1 in favour of Black if he took the knight there.
I think it's just because it messes up the pawn structure, so he can't cast them.
Yeah, probably.
I guess he could have always taken with Queen anyway, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. Engines are weird. That's my main comment on these things. But yeah, this White's now got just a lone pawn on e5, which is going to be a struggle to defend. And,
sorry guys, I'm desperately trying to get the actual game up. I can't seem to get it up from the link. Let me just try and see if I can.
They are both playing very quickly though.
They are. They've actually gained time. They've both gained time.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Their own speed challenge.
They are. This isn't a three-minute game, guys. You've got a full 10 minutes. Like, you don't have to. But it looks like Killian's got this quite big advantage now. Very aggressive queen. Yeah. Can probably do a lot of problems for Black here.
They're just playing way too quickly. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Maybe they've had a conversation, but they're like.
Treat them completely like they're bullet games.
Because now he's completely lost. So.
This isn't even close at this point, and they're still gaining time. They're playing so fast.
I think they're just having us on. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a mate in 1 now. Wherever the king goes, rook b8, and it's game.
Yeah. They're playing faster than we can commentate.
Yeah, so. that was game 1. It lasted like 5 minutes.
He's on plus 1 minute of time. Whoa.
Yeah, and he lost. If he just used those 11 minutes, maybe he could have had a better time.
I mean, John, the Dunn twins are currently making a mockery of this whole competition.
Apparently so. 1300 rating is too OP. Is all I have to say. But there you go.
Well, actually, me and Phil were talking off air to all the viewers and listeners out there. Killian's been in dire form. He's actually lost twice in a row to, I think, Kieran Slade. I think some early competitor who was in the competition. But clearly he's turned it on. All that practice has really helped him in this final match.
You've got some personal knowledge on this, I take it, Kieran.
Yeah. I've been analysing Killian's game a lot over the past couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah, they're asking in the chat whether they should start the next match.
Yep. Just get it over and done with. 3 minutes. Let's go.
Was this their plan the entire time? Let's have this like hour slot. Let's make this thing last. And they're actually just going for it. They're not even waiting for the confirmation. They're just diving straight in.
No checks. I think they've been discussing this. I think.
Yeah, apparently so. Okay, well, I'm gonna catch up. Here and switch the name tags and everything else. We're improvising. We're improvising.
Okay, so this is like Vienna Gambit. It's a relatively common opening, so it's not. Yeah, you can't take until a little bit more development to get a lot of trouble. And it seems like they're taking a bit more to this, so.
A6, put the pressure on the bishop, let him take the knight.
Sean has a question for you, Kieran. Is that Kieran from TikTok?
Please, Sean. Yeah. What can I say? Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Hi, Sean. Hope you're doing well. Hope your family's safe. Keep up the good spirits.
Very wholesome. That's lovely. Thank you for that.
Looks like we're going to get some opposite side castling, so an aggressive game.
Yeah, which is what we like to see. Though at this rapid pace, that maybe we don't want it to be like this.
Just say Killian just blocked every route down into the bottom defence, but now he's opened it up. I'd say I've seen this tactic before.
Significant advantage for Ronan here positionally. We'll see if he can make the most of it.
Wow!
That is a big difference.
I think D5 is the move, right? Yeah.
B5 or knight to D5, as you say, which is the one that he ended up going for. Is either would have given White a massive advantage.
I have Ronan mate in 15.
Yeah, like black. It's going to find this hard to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Nick and James are just off in their own world. I think they're giving some interesting commentary to do with the statistics based on how many arms and legs each person has, and seeing how good at chess that means. So I'm not quite sure on the science behind that, but there you go. Interesting stuff. In the meantime, we have very aggressive moves from Ronan, and he's really putting the pressure on Killian here. So if he manages to keep this up and not hang his queen like he did do in the semi-final against Eurodrito.
Yeah.
Sorry, bringing up old wounds and all that. And we may see a tiebreaker set of games as well. So there you go.
As the neutral, you do want to see this go to a tiebreaker, don't you?
That is my favourite thing. Tiebreakers are fantastic. My favourite thing in the world. As far as chess is concerned, obviously.
Well, that is
you can easily go like B1, protect the bishop, get a nice line up, and then go B5 after. That would be my plan.
Or even just bring the rook in onto F1.
Yeah.
Just all in on this attack. I would quite like to see that.
Go for it.
I was just thinking because his knight in d4 is just currently pinned, which isn't great because he obviously wants to move at some point.
And he
That
takes
is
it and then
fair.
yeah.
So yeah, I think just b1 would just open up that line. But I mean, you can do it a bit later as long as he just protects his knight.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't leave the bishop hanging or anything like that. He is taking his time on this move, so he clearly realizes this is a fairly complex situation. He needs to try and come up with the best idea here.
Yeah.
He's still got a very strong advantage.
Almost waiting for Killian to take a piece and then he can take it back, because a lot of his pieces are sort of not so well protected, but he has found a good move there to get his queen out of this sticky situation.
Yeah, that is very true. And what the computer is saying is bringing the rook in onto f8 and just trying to eliminate all of this pressure on the right hand side is the idea there, which is fair enough.
Yeah, that's why you don't really want to exchange here.
You could exchange the rooks, I suppose.
Well, I mean, yeah, because he has to, because it's a queen's pinned out the way.
Yeah.
But after queen takes.
After queen takes, you can move your.
Okay.
Oh, he took with a knight instead. That's interesting. I suppose that knight there on the d7 square, it's not got many places that it can go because these white pawns on the left hand side are actually blocking some of its options.
That's true. I think it was like covering the c5 and e6 squares were more useful than what it's doing now.
But unless it's thinking of repositioning it somewhere, like g6 for example. Well, not now. It can't do that now, really. Well, I suppose it still could, but less obvious.
I mean, Ronan just...
Yeah.
And a lot of the... There is actually a mate in one here if king goes to a8, just saying. But okay, he doesn't do that. But yeah, a lot of the advantages just slipped away at this point.
Well, it's because he sacked his knight, basically.
He just threw the knight away.
He still has a massive positional advantage, but whether that's going to stay sustainable or not.
Bishop should take here. Do the bishop trade, and he does. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's opened up his row. I think I actually don't see what white can do now.
Other than just bring the rook into the game, it's not easy. That is a free pawn as well. He could have gone for, but yeah, now we're back down to roughly evens. Not much in it.
Ronan's lost his head. He's lost his head.
I don't think this queen move's good because he really needs the protection. Still.
Yeah, because there is still quite a lot of aggressive ideas going on down here. On black.
Because b5, I'm just thinking I don't have the engine, but yeah, like b5 and then.
And now we have a draw according to the engine. I don't know if there's some sort of repetition or something. I don't see it.
I think it's just the positional advantage of white is cancelled out by the material loss.
Yeah. And after he takes the d3 pawn, he doesn't actually. Now it's back in white's favour.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronan's only +1 up.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. Okay, if he did move it to d4 or d5, that would be protecting the pawn on d3 and getting the queen out of danger from the knight. Whereas now black has the slight advantage, even on material, but that is a very aggressive queen. And the knight can go into the game as well, and then he's linked up his rook and his queen together. So very dangerous stuff.
Yeah, that knight sack wasn't great. He lost all his advantage from it, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just he had 3 just useless pieces top right, because obviously, yeah, as you said, he should have moved the rook to protect the bishop.
And yeah, this is another sack as well. And okay, so that's brought it to another draw. I think there may be some sort of repetition here, possibly. The idea was rook to d1.
Rabble, that has...
Okay, so queen c5 is the idea here, and I think that captures the knight.
Picks up the knight. Yeah.
Yeah, and he finds it. Oh dear.
And that's likely to be game over, because Killian is unlikely to give up a lead.
Yeah, indeed.
Especially this late in the game, where there's very few tricks remaining.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and now he's picked up his confidence and he's bringing his pieces into the attack.
What a comeback.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it personally. And the interesting thing is that he can entirely ignore the fact that White sacked his queen by going to rook d2 and just continuing the checkmate pattern. And he doesn't. Mate in 1.
He misses the mate in 1. What?
What?
Okay, that was.
What just happened?
I'm taking it out on purpose. That is wild.
Okay, so
what?
He was like, okay, White's. Oh, so it wasn't actually hanging the queen. Because it was protected by the rook.
No, but not, it is. The knight can just take on a6.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's right.
It is on queen.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
That is absolutely incredible. So 3 options that Black did have were rook down to d2, continuing the checkmate idea. Knight takes queen, or even this queen takes pawn, and that's protecting this b7 square. So he had 3 options to avoid the checkmate, and he chose poorly, unfortunately. So there you go. Sean's accusing of match fixing.
I didn't believe that.
Sean, we're looking into it as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are quite confused.
I told you he was off form, though. I told you he was off form. He's really been struggling with the pressure of the Grandmaster label.
Yeah, it's true. The pressure of these games.
Okay,
they've started the next one already. So yeah, no breaks on this train. So
quick predictions, John. Who are you going for?
Quick predictions. I'm going to go for whoever's white, which is Killian.
I'll see if they can start. I'll just say yeah. I mean, Killian should win this. There's some dodgy stuff going on here. Some ball tampering. So.
I mean, hanging mace in 1 happens to the best of us. Is all I'm going to say.
It does happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but yeah. Especially that they're just playing so quickly. I don't really that they're thinking through the moves in much detail.
At least with this one, they weren't gaining time as they were playing.
Do you think Killian has the advantage? He's more used to playing the blitz games.
Yeah, I have mentioned this a couple of times in the tournament before. Killian has played 6,000 blitz games on chess.com, which is quite a record.
Actually, man.
Yeah, but we have.
These 2 pro players, 5 minutes. Is there a 5-second increment?
2 seconds.
3-second increment.
Oh, is it 3? 3.
3 seconds. I mean, for these 2, I think they won't feel as rushed as perhaps others have been.
Well, they're queen sacked, so it should be a bit of a slower game. It's unlikely you're going to get checkmate.
Yeah, it's true.
We're just going through the motions.
I think they've just gone to an endgame basically already.
Yeah, pretty much. White's a pawn up, which is going to be a bit of an advantage, but this pawn on c4 is going to be hard to defend.
Yeah, is it a double pawn up? So.
Yeah, or one or the other. One of the other is going to fall. Is what I'm
Well,
thinking.
essentially, it's taken them just a minute to get to this point, whereas other players in the competition have taken 3-4 minutes to get to this.
Yeah, like turn 12 already. And Ronan was actually ahead of the 5-minute starting point until this turn, so now he's starting to think. And probably a good idea too as well. And he finds the best move, which was this bishop to a4 attacking the rook. So
it's because he needs to move his knight at some point. It was forced to protect otherwise.
And he protects the loose pawn by just progressing it forward 1, which is a very good defensive idea. And that was a sack of a pawn by Ronan. And now he's weakened his king as well, so it's doubly bad.
Yeah, and he needs to get his rook outside the pin, and he's hung his rook now too. Ouch.
Yeah, that is painful. Yeah. And he doesn't even take back.
They're playing way too quickly.
He doesn't even take back. So there you go. Well, I guess he sacked a pawn for it. I guess.
He didn't even need to do that, right? He could have gone bishop e7 to get out, and then. So I mean, White. Yeah. Probably just consolidating his advantage in this.
Oh, here we go.
Looks like it. But yeah, Black's not got much material left.
Well, they can't stop this promotion, right? Just put the rook on the A file. The other rook, on the A file, and then just push. Next game.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way to
push
stop
forward. Yeah, and.
Oh, I mean, there's no way to stop without sacking material.
Yeah, agreed. Though that is a decent idea, because if he does progress the pawn, he can take it with the bishop, which isn't great because you're already down on material, but at least you get like a little bit of a trade for it. Yeah. And doing the trade is sensible for White there.
Yeah.
And now he's protecting the pawn.
Yeah, now it's complete game.
Yeah, I believe so.
No.
Yeah.
One little step at a time.
Because he'll progress the pawn to a7 and then bring the b rook over to
E8.
to b8.
Yeah.
And he has to sack it.
Resignation will. Yeah.
And actually, this is a decent idea to stop that.
That is a good move. That's a good move for us.
Yeah, I mean his bishop now can't move, and he's back in the same situation, but slightly worse. That's such a troll promotion. Promote to a bishop. I appreciate that.
I feel like he could have done knight there.
Yeah.
I didn't think knight would have been quite bad. He would have kept the bishop.
Yeah, I guess with the bishop, you're kind of forcing the bishop to take it, right?
So, I guess.
I reckon they're going to go for like a 5-queen checkmate. Is my guess. Yeah.
He's just more trolls. More trolls.
Oh,
I love it.
God,
I genuinely love it. Another knight. And another one.
He's gonna get 4 knights on the field, on the board.
Watch how he stalemates in the process.
I would love it if he stalemates.
Oh, another blitz game. I couldn't take it. I just couldn't take it, guys.
Well, there's already one more anyway, right? Because it's a best of 3.
Well, you've heard of the four knights opening at Juto. Have you heard of the 4 knights ending? 4 knights endgame.
Okay, come on, he's going for... Wow.
The thing is, like, this is sufficiently complicated that a stalemate is possible.
Yeah.
It's going for...
Well, at least it's entertaining, right?
This is entertaining. This is a genuine puzzle. Like, how do you checkmate with 5 knights?
I mean, surely Clean's never ever done this before.
This is like almost bomb cloud level sort of entertaining.
It's great.
Take a screenshot, post this on YouTube, and this will be, 10,000 hits.
Can you checkmate with 5 knights?
It's like he's hacked the game.
So he's got this really nice idea, because keeping all the knights together actually makes a net.
Makes a wall?
Yeah, it makes a wall, exactly. So this is quite effective, and he found the checkmate.
My mind can't possibly look at the squares like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's taken me like seconds just to see what the knights are covering. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. I could not register what anything was covering.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, such a troll. Such a troll. Massive disrespect for the competition right there, but we love it.
That right there is.
Rosen's going to the chat.
Yeah, we finished actually the team for
No, so you play 2 games with the 5 minutes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I got smacked though.
Well, you prepare for another one.
Yeah.
Alright. And we have lost Killian's camera.
I think he's just going to tell them to take their time.
That is fair enough. We are massively ahead of schedule. Yeah.
Are we going to an ad break?
Are we going for a break? Is that the question?
Oh, no, I'm sure they just want to carry on.
Yeah. And indeed they do.
And here we go.
Right, I'm going for a 2-0 sweep and blitz for Killian.
You think so?
I think it's very difficult to see anything else after that. Yeah.
Are you going to share your camera, by the way, Kieran?
Alright.
Again.
It's a very interesting opening they've gone for. I mean, it's just given up a central pawn for nothing.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's actually a gambit of some sort. And
I just don't see it. I mean, now I see it.
well, yeah, it's clearly a trap idea, and that is the way to prevent the trap is that knight move. Any other move and the rook would have been lost.
He's done well to find it.
I think initially before he moved his bishop out, he should have just naturally developed his knight.
Rook c8 is the only good move here.
Sorry, knight to b.
Knight c7.
Sorry, yeah, knight to c7.
No, and that is not good. Knight takes c7. Yeah, that puts in check.
And then queen takes, and that's it.
game.
Yeah, it's not game quite yet, but yeah, materially speaking, massive advantage.
But to our listeners, they shouldn't understand what we mean.
Yeah.
And he has to also protect against checkmate now as well. So.
And they've actually switched over to a 10-5 game.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, someone in chat did notice. Yeah, sorry about that. That's our bad. I think we can probably keep tabs on this though. If they go below 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, they've been playing so quickly.
But yeah, I think it doesn't matter. Yeah, because they were still keeping up to about the 4-5 minute mark anyway when they're doing the 5-3.
This game might be the quickest out of all.
Quite possibly. Certainly a massive advantage for Ronan.
With the queen down there, you know.
Yeah, very dangerous spot. And yeah, if he brings the bishop into the attack somehow, tries to relieve the pressure on by forcing that knight to move.
Well, he's on his bishop, so that's some material back.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So yeah, clearly it's not clear yet. The pawn is now hanging on a c3.
Yep. Yeah, nothing can be done to save that other than, I guess, just a bishop move to protect it.
Yeah, the problem is that this knight is being protected by the king, and the rook's being protected by the knight, so he's like, he can't move either of those pieces.
And that was a hung bishop.
And a hung bishop. Yeah, I legitimately have no idea what these guys are playing at this point.
And a check coming up.
Well, Ronan decided that he had too much of an advantage and he wanted to give some of it back because
Get out of the game, yeah.
So fair
His
enough.
E2 is hanging.
Yeah, and a check as well.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
Yeah, he could have also brought the rook in for a check.
E2.
That would have been a nice idea.
Problem is that it's quite difficult to defend A8 at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have to push the F pawn, just to get the king out of there so he can actually move around.
At this point, I would just sack the exchange and try and do something. Like,
There's a nice idea actually. Knight to E5.
yeah, E5.
Lose the rook, bring the queen in onto D7, and you're causing massive devastation.
Yeah, forget about this rook.
Yeah, Nick's saying it right.
Oh, yes.
I have no idea what's going on, but I'm enjoying myself. Absolutely. I've not seen this gambit before, but clearly it's something that Ronan knew.
Yeah, you have to go E8.
Yeah, and now we've got a Mason 1, King moves, and then Queen F7. Yeah.
F7.
Wow.
Wow, this is some final.
Absolutely. Right, so they did keep within the time limits, even though they had the wrong format with the 10-5. We're still counting it as a valid win because...
Next is 3+1?
Yeah, 3+1. Yeah, okay, thanks for telling them, Madrito. Cool, so Killian is now in white, so we'll fix that.
Okay, wow. So 1-1. Right after that, I've got no idea.
Okay, this is like we have seen this previously in the games, but the England
Gambit.
I don't know why I start with a U. But
I think Joe tried this against you, Adrito, actually, and it didn't work out for him. But it's a gambit for black, and if it doesn't work out, it's very bad for black.
Yeah, well, he's just down material.
Yeah.
I don't really get that bishop sack. It's like a fried liver without frying the liver. Because his knight wasn't on G4, so I don't really get it.
Is that a chess thing?
A fried liver.
Fried liver is like when you put your bishop and knight together on that square. But
it's a chess. Mason 1, Queen G3.
Oh my god!
Queen G3? No!
Oh, no, he doesn't see it!
No!
He doesn't see it!
It was back again.
Oh, no.
It was back again.
No, because his king can move now, right?
Well, it was a Mason 2.
Oh, yeah, because he would move up and then check. Yeah, now he sees it. Okay, so he's still a massive advantage.
Massive advantage. Okay, we have to run through that because everyone lost some of what was going on there.
Yeah, because that was way too quick.
Okay, there we go. So I hope you guys caught up, but that was insane. We actually had Mason 1 on the board from White's massive advantage as well. I think White was +6 on the evaluation bar. So it just shows how things can completely go wild.
Yeah, it was like +5.5, and then yeah. I guess the problem with blitz is at our level especially is that you just go for a move and just hope it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think these guys know what they're doing. Like, they're playing gambits and blitz chess, but you don't play gambits unless you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense for the opening, but once you're like 4 or 5 moves in, you're just like, does this look alright? Yeah, it's probably alright.
Yeah, but we're 24 moves in and they still got over 2 minutes each. So I don't think time's going to be a massive thing. And, Black just needs to keep up the advantage. Only 4 points in material, but positionally he's got a lot of attacking ideas. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good news.
Yeah, that is good. Keeps the pawn protected where it's attacking this bishop, and actually King H8 is the only good move here.
Is there any legal move?
Well, they're blocks. They were blocks, I guess.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're not going to smack your rook.
But yeah. Oh, Mason won.
What?
Rook
What?
Rook F8.
He has to see this. This is such an obvious.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. What was
Wow.
this game?
That is crazy.
Oh, they've just started the next game anyway.
No, it's fine.
Okay. That's because I pressed reset. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not going to complain. I'll let this play out. I think they were under the impression that they'd do it in pairs of games, and I mean the rules haven't been set in stone, and actually it is fair enough because you kind of do.
Okay, so this is the actual
prime
mover attack for those watching.
Although he's gone for the knight sacrifice line, which is interesting.
The only correct move here is like I can't even remember. It's not going for the check.
Sorry, was this for black?
Yeah.
Right.
But now this king is like.
Oh yeah, it was knight takes e4. So it was the check, but the other one. Yeah. Now.
What has happened?
So black's got this massive advantage because of all this pressure on white's king, even though he's down on material. And sorry, I am going to fix the name tags. This is Ronan in white.
Yeah.
It's forced mate now, right?
It's mate in 6. H takes g6 to continue with the mating pattern, and nothing else works. And yeah, he finds it. That's good.
Takes it.
This king is some monster king.
This king's going to be upgraded to a
he finds the only move to
Yeah.
continue the mating pattern, and the king's just completely migrated across the board, and now it's stuck. Queen H6 is checkmate, and he finds
I've
it.
never seen chess like it.
It's wild. It's fantastic. We love it.
I mean, king and a H8. I mean, that's just.
You got lost. That's what happened.
They
won that.
Yeah, it's.
I think he only moved 3 pieces.
Oh wait.
Killian's won now, right?
Oh, Killian won. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. So no, this is just game over, right? There's no more chat.
Yeah.
Okay, we should probably tell him.
Yeah, the chess was too much for me to keep up with. That was the problem. But yeah, there you go. Killian has fought his way to the top of the top position, managing to beat Ronan 4-2 in the final.
That wasn't chess. On that bombshell.
Yeah, really. So like move 6, black just hung his knight, and white didn't take, and then after that it was checkmate after that. So.
Well, move 6. He was still in the lead. I'm trying to figure out where the blunder was.
It was moving the knight with the check. It was attacked by the queen.
Oh, it was taking the rook. It was taking the rook on turn 8.
But
so
even at that stage,
done,
like before the knight was hung, he could have just taken it. But yeah.
If he moved his rook to f1 on turn 7, he would have had a massive advantage. But taking the rook to try and get the material advantage was a mistake.
Yeah.
Very tricky games, and it's actually quite nice seeing Killian win that one, despite being so down in material. It was a very exciting game. Yeah, wow. Okay, we're going to cut to a short break, but we'll have both guys on for the interview, and we'll chat to them about what on earth that we just witnessed. It was glorious. Yeah, catch you guys shortly. Oh, that looks good for me. So checking his king, attacking his rook. So I think I should be able to kind of wrap up after this. It's just making sure I don't make mistakes from here on out. Oh, is he trying to stalemate? Oh, that's clever. Okay. Right, I just got to make sure that I check him every turn. And okay, yeah, I think this is done now. Can go this way. Yeah, I've got to give him credit though for not giving up. Yeah, that's quite admirable actually. If I hold on. If I do something like that, he takes. The idea being that, right? Let's give it a go. Why not? See what he comes up with. How do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? Am I just trapping my queen if I go here? Maybe. What else could he do? No other blocking moves, so just move his king here. I think I'm okay with the trade. Well, that looks like a free pawn. That looks like a fork. That's protected there, so now we can save this pawn. Actually, do we even want to? Probably not. I think just progress it. Yeah, no, actually, that would have been hanging, so it's best that we save that one. Would I trade? Okay, if I do this, he takes, I take, he takes, and I get a queen. Yeah. let's not stalemate here. Ideally he takes, yeah, okay, that makes it a lot easier. Then here, and I think it's checkmate either way. It depends whether he moves his pawn or whatever. Yeah, okay, checkmate. Cool.
Let me interject there. Johnny is East Sussex champion chess, champion, county champion. So, you know, Johnny is a slight favourite going into this game, and then there could be a John matchup.
I think you might have had a case of mistaken identity there, actually. You know, sorry to interrupt you and all that, but I think you may be thinking of Ralph and not Johnny.
Well, I've heard rumours of Johnny's tactic. You know, John. I mean, it's an interesting tactic to play down your prospective competitor, but I've heard Johnny
not very
has
humble
some
of me.
very, very sneaky moves up his sleeve.
Yeah, certainly.
He's Johnny the Sneak after all. You know, they all call him Johnny the Sneak.
Well, isn't that chess, Nika?
Chess, folks.
So, how confident were you going into the tie against your old friend John?
I'm the only person I played chess with in the last couple of years was a game I played with John, and he won. So I was almost certain he'd win.
Wait, we played a game together.
Yeah, at Johnny's house, maybe after the Greek restaurant.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, John clearly won by such a landslide. He hasn't even remembered it.
Oh, no, that's just my poor memory.
It's quite tough. You all get sluggish after a good Greek meal, so...
Who doesn't love a good Greek gyros, huh? Than a game of chess.
The Greeks know how to make food.
Yeah.
And thank you to our Greek sponsors. Gyros.
Thank you to the Greek gyros.
Yeah, so it looks like Vid's going to be up against Mark Leith.
Oh, very nice.
Well, we have Mark Leith on the line over here. Mark,
Oh,
what do you think about your potential matchup?
Nick, I think you're right. Let's bring him in.
Hello. Yeah. So yeah, just heard it. It's me and Vidur next round. Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah. You know,
Will
that
you
tough
be
first
eating
round.
Greek food?
It's going to be a good one.
I think it's gonna be a good one. Both had tough first rounds. Probably hard done by with the draws. I'd say could both be in the main draw. So you know, high quality.
Wow, big claims from Mark here.
Yeah.
You saying that the draw was rigged?
Well, I'm not saying it was a fix, but
Okay, well, it looks like it's Mark there. I think Mark's gone there. Anyway, the draw is completely legitimate. We have to, again say that for our sponsors. Thank you very much.
We have a quarter-final match actually. It's the first quarter-final. It's going to be Ronan against the winner of the first match of that day, Andrew and Matthew.
Wow, the first matchup has a potential, second game ahead of them. Wow.
Yes,
Very nice.
For the wicked.
I did check with each of them beforehand, and they're okay with it. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, indeed. And the final match of the day is Adrito versus Sean.
Match of the day 2 is on.
Yeah, well, it's Sunday evening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sunday!
Yeah.
You two make a great radio duo.
Yeah, so we're making a chess radio from now on, right? Chess radio show.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Alright, and we are back with both of the finalists, Ronan and Killian, who gave us some very entertaining chess, I have to say.
That's all I did.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about.
And the viewers.
And the viewers, exactly. So yeah, Killian, some thoughts on just the first couple of games and like how it ended up as well.
Yeah, it was interesting for sure. I mean, I don't think I've ever done a checkmate like with those knights. So that was very fun to do for sure.
Disrespect.
It was quite interesting, like to see if you could actually come up with some sort of checkmate pattern with those 5 knights. But I have to agree with Ronan, it was very disrespectful.
It was actually not as hard because I had them all in line, so I sort of covered the whole thing. It was hard when he got to the last rank, and I had to make sure I didn't stalemate him somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we would have loved it if you did manage to stalemate him, but alas, you managed to figure it out.
Yeah. But you know, I really enjoyed the games, to be honest. I made some really horrible mistakes, and I think we both got it.
I think we just went crazy. We ever played such bad chess and such good chess. I think that's such terrible chess.
Yeah.
It's something we did notice from game 1 was both of you actually ended up with more time than you started by like over a minute each. Was this like a joint effort by both of you to just make a mockery of the entire tournament?
With some updates, I think we used to make quite fast tests, so I think we're just in that we just do it, never used it, and then once you see it going fast, I try going faster.
Yeah, it's like a challenge, you know. He goes fast.
Yeah.
You have to go fast as well.
I actually had my aim to see if I could get above 11 minutes and win, but sadly I did some blunders.
You got one of those.
We have a light-hearted question from James in the chat, actually. This is for you, Killian. For how long have you known that you're the alpha?
26 years.
26 years, I guess.
Yeah. There you go.
Burn.
Yeah, that's nothing new. I said it was just alive, I wasn't lying.
He was trying with the mind games beforehand. No, it's good to have it confirmed on the biggest stage of them all.
Yes, the biggest stage, even bigger than PogChamps. At least now, our stream is bigger than PogChamps now.
Yeah. Pog
Yeah, exactly. Pog exactly. Yeah, Ronan, you managed to catch Killian out. I think it was in the 4th game with a gambit.
Rider gambit, yeah.
Yeah. Clearly something you had prepared.
I've played it quite a lot. I've played against Killian a few times, but it's not always gone. And sometimes he's not always gone for actual rider gambit part. Mostly we just ended up with Black Martimer part, which is like the beginning part. So yeah, it worked out. It was nice. It's a gambit I know I've played quite a lot. So,
yeah.
When it works.
But it seems like in the last game you got caught out by another gambit type.
I got with Trixie Killians.
Yeah.
Trixie, I was too focused on checkmating myself.
Yeah, you got the material advantage, but in that precise moment, your exposed king got absolutely brutalized by Killian.
That's the problem. Killian just pounces on your weaknesses.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is something that you foresaw. Like you're happy to give up that material in exchange for this idea, Killian.
What with Killian?
Yeah.
Oh, with the bishop.
So the final game. So it seemed like you happily gave away that material in exchange for this opportunity.
The Traxler counterattack.
Yeah.
That's the only opening I sort of prepared, because I knew Rowan likes the fried liver attack. And I'd not heard of it before. I just happened to stumble across it. I did it wrong, I realized, but you know.
You managed to bring it back on track at the final moment when it most mattered. So that's
you didn't catch my mistake, luckily.
And you also did another gambit in the penultimate game. You did the England gambit as well.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. So I just happened to go along with it. The chess said I did England gambit, but I had no idea what I was really doing.
So this is something that you knew, or you didn't know it really?
Well, I didn't. I was just playing moves.
And you somehow managed to recreate the England gambit.
Because he did a weird move in response, I think. He did like a reverse Scandinavian. I think that's how it. Is that the right game? Thinking. Played so many games.
Yeah, I mean, you have just played 6 games, so expecting you to remember them all is not going to work out. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out where exactly in that game you flipped the advantage, because it was White's advantage. Wait, hold on. Nick actually had you on the ropes, turn 13 of that game. I don't know if you can get it up. Sorry, yeah, Ronan. It's because he's got Nick in his name. Gonna beat Nick. But yeah, turn 13. It was actually Ronan's advantage at that point, but you managed to bring it back somehow. I'm trying to figure out how you actually managed to win this one. You're going so fast that we're struggling to keep up with you.
I'm struggling to keep up with it as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
Like, it was a hung mate.
Oh yeah,
that was it. Yeah, so Ronan was doing the England gambit. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, you had your king in the corner, Ronan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh. Linkman dropped off Discord, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but there you go. Some very exciting games actually, and I think in the third game there was like a hung mate as well. It was
like that would keep it exciting, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll keep that eval bar swinging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there you go. Winner of the competition. So quite exciting. If you're wanting to reflect a little bit on the tournament, so you had your first game against Mark Leith.
Yeah.
Who ended up actually winning the losers bracket, so quite a tough opponent in that one as well.
Yeah, no, he did very well.
And then you faced off against Nick, who was the one that Ronan wanted to face off against, given his username. and then I'd like to think the hardest game of your journey up to that point was the one with me. Yeah. It's not like I just hung my queen or anything. It's very, very hard fought.
I enjoyed all the games, to be honest. It was good. It's nice playing with friends and stuff. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's also got to feel really nice to win the whole thing as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't think I've ever won like an individual competition before, so it feels good. Can add it to my CV.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings us on to the final point, really, which is the prize money. So you, by winning the whole thing, take home 60 quid. Ronan with the 30 quid as well. I do know that you actually paid for the entrance for both of you. So are you going to keep all 90 as your fair due?
I'll think about it.
Oh, okay.
Think about it.
Some potential controversy. Uh-huh. It was your investment. You were spotting.
It's my investment, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe give him half.
Good stuff. Yeah, we were mentioning in the break, you were keen to go along with this idea of the hand and brain chess.
Yeah, that sounds like good fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like I've done it before.
So for everyone at home, the idea is that we have two supposedly quite talented chess players, and by winning the tournament you prove yourself of that title. And the other potential brain that we've come up with is Ralph, given that he is our de facto chess coach. And you will be instructing the hands, who will be two of the lower rated players in our group, and you'll be giving them instructions on what to move. And the hands will play a game against each other, and we'll see who wins. It should be fairly chaotic. So I'm expecting it will be a lot of fun.
Who's going to be my hands then?
So I think the two semi-volunteers that we've had so far are Josh and Stephen. So I think just randomly assigning one to you and one to Ralph will be the idea. But yeah, we just need to make sure that everyone's kind of available. But hopefully we'll do that tomorrow. So that should be quite fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun, sure.
Yeah. And maybe if we've got a lot of people available, maybe we'll do a couple of games or something. But it's kind of all in the air at the moment. But there you go. James asking if there are any other body parts available, given that we've already talked about brains and hands. So there you go. It's an interesting question.
Leave it open-ended.
Yeah, open-ended. Exactly. Other thing to discuss is the potential for season 2.
Yeah.
Do you have any favourites? Or you thinking more chess?
I think it'd just be fun, but I feel like I need a break from it, to be honest. I feel like I've played quite a lot recently. Maybe Codenames would be fun, for sure.
Yeah, and Codenames has done quite well in the poll, actually. So yeah, I'm thinking if it's changed at all, I haven't had a look since yesterday. But we might do like a short-ish tournament on Codenames, and then like back for more chess after that. So we'll have a little bit of a break from chess. Well, that's my current idea.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Sure. And we'll see how everyone gets better from the first tournament to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Give us some time to do a training montage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let Sean get in all his lessons.
Yes, exactly. Maybe if he completes all his lessons, he'll even beat you. Yeah. He'll be a contender. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me and taking part in the competition. It's been great. I've enjoyed it a lot.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
You did a really good job.
Well, thank you. I've really enjoyed just like commentating and everything. So yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a good point to end it. It's been a great journey, and thank you to everyone who took part, and the people who helped me with the commentating, and like everyone in chat, just keeping it like really really fun and entertaining as well. So yeah, it's been great. And Nick, I do notice that you called this a cute date, and I have to agree. But
he's just jealous.
He's jealous of us, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Jilted lover.
Don't worry, Nick. We'll have you involved next time. All right. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.